Do you think Lee Anderson's comments were racist?
Good morning. Very good to see you as well. Unfortunately, they were unambiguously racist, Islamophobic, divisive, and damaging. And I have to say, the revelation that even today, after knowing about those remarks, that we see Conservative MPs rallying around Lee Anderson in WhatsApp groups, I think that shows the extent of the problem in the Conservative Party, and also the fact that Rishi Sunak seems to be too weak to deal with that problem.
He has further opened the door, it would suggest, not least because of the pressure he's under, the WhatsApp groups you mentioned there. If he apologises and potentially retracts his comments, he will certainly, it would appear this morning, welcome back into the party with open arms.
Well, of course, that did initially seem to be the case, unfortunately, and Rishi Sunak only acted when it appeared that no apology was going to be forthcoming. But now this is part of a wider problem. Over the last 3 years, I've written to the Conservatives 7 times about the issue of Islamophobia within their party. Now, every political party's got to act against prejudice in all of its forms. Labour has done that against anti-Semitism, against Islamophobia, other forms of racism. We've worked really hard to make sure we're rooting out that prejudice. But we've not seen that action in the Conservative Party. In fact, they've not even got a definition of what Islamophobia is. So I think there is a big problem there. And frankly, the Conservatives need to be getting a grip on it. And that responsibility ultimately lies with Rishi Sunak.
I saw you fighting with Kemi Badenoch on Twitter, on X yesterday. She's responding to you saying that Islamophobia, the definition of Islamophobia that your party has adopted, is not in line with law as it is written. Why do you disagree with her?
So I would say that I only ever disagree with people. I certainly never want to fight with them. I don't believe in that kind of politics. I think it is important that we have, though, a proper fact-based discussion around these issues. You need to be able to define a problem before you can act on it. And the problem, I think, with the Conservatives is that they haven't adopted the most widely used definition of Islamophobia. In fact, the Scottish Conservatives have adopted the same definition as Labour, but at UK level, they're refusing to enact it. A few years ago, they said that they were going to create a new one. So the Conservative Party said they'd make a new definition for targeting what they called anti-Muslim hatred. But actually, the people in charge of that just walked away from that project because nothing was actually changing. And this is really significant because we need to make sure that politics is open to everybody, that we don't see prejudice in our politics of any form, that everyone is able to participate. And that means that, people's ethnicity or their faith really shouldn't be relevant, actually, when it comes to political debate. And that's why Rishi Sunak's got to take action on this. But as I said, he just seems to be too weak to act.
Yeah, but he has already suspended him. What else do you want him to do?
Well, I'm afraid there's many other things that he needs to do. As I said, I have written to the Conservatives 7 times around these issues. He needs
what else can he do about Lee Anderson? He's suspended him. There's not much more he can do on that. Do you want it to be a permanent suspension, I'm guessing?
So on that one issue, yes, he's suspended Lee Anderson, but actually we've seen, for example, Liz Truss really disturbingly propagating conspiracy theories and also associating with individuals who've actually praised the far right in our country. Now, that's deeply disturbing, and we've not seen any action being taken.
What do you want to see happen there, Ms Dodds?
Well, I think action does need to be taken by the Prime Minister in relation to Liz Truss. Her views are unacceptable. He should make that clear, and he should actually commit his party to what, for example, Baroness Farsi, a Conservative peer, has been calling for, to actually get a grip on this issue. And as I said, every political party needs to be acting on this. Labour has worked really hard around anti-Semitism. Sure. Keir Starmer's prioritised.
OK, we know all about that. Talk to me more specifically about Liz Truss. You brought her up. Should she also have the whip suspended?
I think ultimately Rishi Sunak needs to be looking at that. He certainly shouldn't be just standing by and accepting both those conspiracist theories that she has set out and also the fact that she's associated, as I said, with individuals who've praised the British far right. Now, we're talking
When you
about...
say looking at that, do you think, is the Labour's view this morning that Liz Truss, former Prime Minister, should have the whip suspended?
I think what's really disturbing about this, Kay, is that we've not seen a single peep, not a single comment, literally.
No, but I'm asking you, I'm sorry to just press this, Ms Dodds, but you brought it up. You said he should look at it. My question is, should the Prime Minister consider removing the whip from the former Prime Minister Liz Truss today?
At the very least, he should be investigating what has happened here. And there seems to be nothing that has taken place within the Conservative Party in relation to one of their members of Parliament who's propagated conspiracy theories that, to say they're from the dark corners of the internet is quite frankly a way of dressing them up positively.
If she was a member of the Labour Party, would you be pressing as the chair to have the whip removed from her, given her comments?
So, of course, in the Labour Party, we have an independent complaints process, but I would be deeply concerned if we saw a member of my party who was, for example, associating with individuals who praise the far right. I would view that as really problematic.
Okay.
And this is about a broader issue. Sometimes it can seem to be internecine, MPs criticising each other. This is actually about making sure that politics can be a place for everybody, where no one's going to face unfair prejudice, and above all, where everyone is actually safe. And I'm afraid that historically, the far right have not wanted to ensure that politics is a place where everyone can engage. And we shouldn't have a major political party like the Conservatives willing to countenance those who would associate with the far right.